Melina, you entered the house in the same group as Herman. What was the cause of the disintegration in your relationship?
I couldn't connect with him at any level. I could not understand who he is as a person.
Is that all it was? Was it just because like I felt like, you entered, I feel like if I entered the house with people, I'd be like, all right, this is my crew. This is who I'm rolling with, and I felt like you didn't have that relationship. Why?
I don't know. It's just a vibe I have. You know what I mean? I was definitely not thinking about who I was walking in with. That's for sure.
When watching the show, it looked like Jess absolutely destroyed that veto competition. In fact, I dare to say it was the most dominating performance I've ever seen in a competition. Did it seem that way to everybody else that was competing against them?
I mean, let me tell you, I killed the balloon popping and I was the first one to get the cylinders. And I had at least a couple minutes before everyone else reached my point. I just couldn't do the puzzle. But yes, Jess did destroy the puzzle.
Yeah, and like that, it came across like it was done in like just like seconds. Like, is that how it was?
No, of course not.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You don't even see the heavy breathing. You know what I mean? Like you're literally like.
Well, I mean, it's a 1 hour show, right? From the little we saw, it looked like you gave Kevin a lot of information, including you telling him your thoughts that Herman and Moose were aligned. Do you regret being as open as you were with somebody that was on the block against you?
I don't regret it. I don't, because I think initially I did know that I was the one going out. And I mean, Kevin's not going to make it anywhere anyways in this game. So I'll give you as much ammo as you need. And if you can't figure that out on yourself, it's not gonna work.
Why? Why do you think he's not gonna go anywhere in the game?
I mean, because if he didn't know that information already, then you have to be aware and observant in that game, period. You know what I mean? But maybe he's just playing an act.
You had a discussion with Tanisha about Kevin and whether he was playing it up, like playing up this character. Yeah. How he was there just to have a good time. Is that really how you feel about his game?
No, it's all crap for sure. He's definitely lying. I think.
No, I was just gonna say, what gave you that impression?
I think it took me a couple of times. Like I've talked to him a lot, and then there was just one time, and I looked at him, and I even told him, I said, "Ooh, you're lying to me. I know you're lying to me. You're taking this like sad, like awkward personality and using it, and that's fine, that's good, but it's not gonna last."
Give me a little bit more insight about that. Like, was he able to keep that up the entire time? This whole like, like I'm just so happy to be here. Like, I mean, I feel like if I was playing a character, I don't know if I could keep it like 24/7, especially with the cameras always around. Was he, in your opinion, able to?
I genuinely think he was, at least talking to me.
Yeah.
But I know when he campaigned, it was gone, and it was like fire Kevin coming out.
Yeah. As it's so early in the season, it's hard to discern any alliances. Did you have any suspicions about who was working together aside from the one you already spoke about, the one with like Herman and Moose? Like, was there any bigger group that you saw?
I mean, I assume Gino and Kyle were somewhere in something, just because they're playing this like really chill, I'm just the good guy, you know what I mean? So that's definitely what I thought. It was pretty a clear divide to me, but again, I don't know if it was an actual like alliance,
Can you explain the divide to me? Like, who's on what side?
Like what I saw was like Herman, Moose, Kyle, Gino, the girls, or I mean like Jay, Steph, and T. And then there was kind of the other, everyone else, but everyone really just went to one side technically, but they didn't have that in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even though Josh had safety, he didn't have in.
Would you say that you were on the everyone else side?
Oh yeah, I was on no side. I was on no side.
There were a lot of people that received safety this week. Jay got it by answering the call. Moose and Josh got it in the HOH competition. Did you feel like it was fair to have so many people safe in the first week? And how much did that impact your game? All of these people just getting safety every left, right, and center.
Yeah, no, I hated that. That was like, come on, I could have ran to the phone too, but you just don't think that that's going to happen. And of course it matters because that's just 3 people less.
There is a lot of diversity in the cast. Were you still worried that it would turn into a boys club? I feel like that's kind of what you're saying without saying it, when you refer to like Gino and Kyle and like Moose and Herman. Do you feel like it turned into a boys club with all the physically strong guys deciding to work together?
I am worried. I am, and originally when I came in here, I was like, I would love to play a women's game, regardless if I'm with Women Alliance or not. Like, I am a woman, so it's like, I would love to have done more with that.
Mhm.
But from my views, it just seems like it might go that route, and that's sucks. So, yeah.
Did the women get along this time around? Like were they? I guess I'll phrase it another way. Were they as tight as the boys were?
As a whole, maybe not, but they were tight, and they also were basically all in the same room, like other than Steph and Jace. So
I get the feeling. I get the feeling that you're sort of, and it came across in your like videos and your, things like that. That it's sort of like, I'm just gonna let them do them, and I'm just gonna do me. Would you say that that's a fair assessment of how you are, like outside of the house and also in the house? Just sort of like you do your stuff, and I'm gonna do mine.
Absolutely, and I think that was almost frustrating because I was like, I'm put in this position because I am me, because I'm not doing more. And it's like, at the end of the day, I'm happy to stay alone in a room and talk to myself, and I'm comfortable with that.
What I find interesting about that is I do find that that's good to get on the show. This is a unique person. This person doesn't need validation from anyone else. So it's a great philosophy to have to get on Big Brother Canada. But once you're on Big Brother Canada, I feel like this lone wolf, I just got vibes from Josh from last season, like the lone wolf strategy, I feel like is great to get on the show. But when you're in the show, it might not be the best strategy. Do you feel that's the best way to sort of operate in there?
Nope. I mean, I think it would be able to, that would have been fine if I lasted a little bit longer. The more time you have, the more understanding of a human, and the more accepting of that would be. But at first, go, it's kind of hard because it looks like I'm standoffish, which I am.
Right. Yeah, and I just feel like there's no sort of pretense, or there's no fakery with you. What you see is what you get. And in a game where you've got to align with the great majority of people in that first few days. I just feel like that's not your type of personality to sort of be fake. Hey, what do you do for a living? I don't really care, but I'm asking so that we can align.
Oh, I know. I couldn't tell you where anyone lives or what their occupation is. Why would that matter?
Right.
That's not going to help me in any way, but obviously it will because I'm connecting with someone.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. And do you regret that? Do you regret not sort of forging, these connections, whether they're fake or not?
I don't, because honestly, if I tried, I wouldn't be able to pay attention. But at the end of the day, I would have loved to play my own game. I'm like, can I just play this solely? Please.
So your version of the game that would be ideal would just be you and a bunch of competitions.
Yeah, exactly. Have my one person, and then we just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. What is the feeling like? I have to ask this question. I ask it every single time. What is it like sort of being the first one evicted? Are you happy that you don't have to deal with these people again? Is it bittersweet that you got cast on this show and, had such an early exit? Sort of what is the prevailing feeling?
Yeah. I mean, you're pretty on point with that. That's basically how it went. I did have emotion when knowing, because it's almost like, oh man, then why was I here? You know what I mean? Why couldn't I do this? Especially because I'm pretty confident and know that, I could have. That's frustrating.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's as long as I was who I was, that is most important, because I just don't think it would have worked if I would have been fake. You would be able to see that,
Yeah. Who is your predicted winner?
I don't know.
Wow, look at that eye roll. That looks to me like I don't want anyone to win.
It is true. I'm please just have it. I was so hoping that there was a twist and I wasn't going to see Arissa. I'm come on, bring me around, bring me back after an hour and let me win, and then change it up. I couldn't tell you.
Oh, you gotta give me a name here. There's gotta be somebody.
I don't want to put a man in power,
Oh, so, okay. So I can accept that if you think it's gonna be a guy, I won't force you on which one, but do you?
I do, because if I look at the women, I mean, at least in like endurance comps, I feel like I would have been the most like physical in
Yeah.
that. So it's like if they can't win it, then it seems like, you got to have all of it. But
Mhm.
again, that lies down on the alliance that you have.
Would you be happy with a Kevin win?
No.
I
What
guess
kind of
not.
question is
Well,
that?
I don't know. Like, I mean, I feel, it's like one of those things where, like, if a team eliminates the Raptors or something, I'm always at the odds. I'm like, okay, well, like, they beat my team. Should I be rooting for them or should I hate them because they took out the Raptors? So I felt like maybe that might be a thing, like he was on the block with you. Maybe there's this block connection, but I guess not.
There's no absolute way.
Okay.
No.
All right. What's the best part about being on Big Brother Canada?
Mm. I don't know. Just honestly, the whole experience. It's really interesting seeing TV and how it works. It's something that I had, really no idea of, and it's fun. It is fun.
Amazing. And last question is, they mentioned it as well, but like so many tattoos. Do you have a favorite?
I have a clump favorite. Like I enjoy
Okay.
this area.
Yeah, yeah. And I know you don't have to show it, but like, what is it representative?
Nothing.
Just design?
Nothing. I don't really have much purpose. I don't
Yeah.
think you need a purpose in the things that you put on your body, to be honest with you. And I don't think you need to share that either, if there was.
Perfect. All right. We are all set, Melina. Thank you so much.
Thank you.